In this episode, we will be looking at an A math question on the topic of quadratic inequality from Bendemeer Secondary, prelim paper in 2020, question number 2 of paper 2. Now let's take a look at how we can solve this question first, and then you will see what the common mistake is about. Now to visualize this question, I'm going to draw out the cylinder. In this case, it's an open cylinder, so it means that the top is open. So it looks like this, okay? And then we know that the surface area is less than 20 pi square centimeters. So we will need to form an inequality for that. Now, since this is an open cylinder, we will only need to include the curved surface area, which is 2 pi RH, and the base of the cylinder, which is pi r squared for the surface area. So since we know that the surface area is less than 20 pi, so this is less than 20 pi. So this is the inequality that you can get from the question. And then after that, we know that pi is a common factor between this inequality for both sides of the inequality. So we are going to take out the common factor pi. 2 RH plus r squared is lesser than 20 pi. And so we can divide by pi throughout for both sides, and we will get 2RH plus r squared to be lesser than 20. And then now, since we know that the height is given to be 4 centimeters, we can sub that in, and you will get 2r times 4 plus r squared to be lesser than 20. And so you have r squared plus 8r minus 20, and this is your quadratic inequality here. So you should know what you can do to this quadratic inequality. You can factorize it, and then you will get the two factors to be r minus 2 and your r plus 10. And then since we know that the coefficient of your r squared is greater than 0, so this is going to be a minimum curve. So we're going to draw the curve like this, and we have the two values of r to be negative 10 and 2. Now, since we are looking for the values that are lesser than 0, so we will be looking at the area under the graph, which is here. So from the graph, we can tell that the solution to this inequality is r is between negative 10 and 2. Now, some of you may stop here and think that this is the final answer, but I need you to think carefully. What does r represent? R represents the radius, and you know that radius must definitely be greater than 0. So since your r is always greater than 0, so the correct answer to this inequality should be r is greater than 0 but lesser than 2. So this is the common mistake that students tend to make. They tend to just stop at this answer over here, which is not the correct one. So whenever you're solving for questions like this, not just for inequalities, but also for equations, you should always check whether the answers that you have gotten are valid or not. So that's the reason why you need to conclude one more step by saying that since r is greater than 0, so there's a final correct inequality that we need to state, rather than just stopping here at r is between negative 10 and 2.